It was a quiet Wednesday evening, the kind where nothing seemed out of place, until it was. My partner, eyes fixed on her phone, made an offhand remark. I was expendable. No fight preceded it. No raised voice. Just a casual observation, tossed into the room like a candy wrapper, as if I were an outdated gadget ready for retirement. But it wasn't carelessness. That sentence was sharpened with intent. She wanted it to hurt. And it did. Still, I didn't react. I gave a small nod, pretending it hadn't just cracked the foundation we'd built over 10 years together. A decade of loyalty, late-night talks, sacrifices, and making sure she always felt seen and secure. When we met, she was drowning in setbacks. I stepped in, paid her debts, lifted her spirits, supported every ambition she had. I gave her what she'd never known, stability. And now, I was disposable. That night, while she slept peacefully beside me, unaware of the emotional wreckage she had caused, I made up my mind. I wouldn't plead. I wouldn't argue. She didn't deserve a dramatic confrontation. I would leave, but not quietly. She would feel every inch of my absence. Over the following weeks, I became the man she first fell for. Smiles, warmth, thoughtful questions about her day, her favorite meals served with care. All while I silently dismantled our life behind the curtain. The house was mine, bought before our vows. The cars were under my name. The bank account, mostly my earnings. The credit cards were tied to my credit history. A few phone calls, and everything could be undone. I visited a lawyer, went over every clause and condition. When the time came, I would be ready. No blind spots. No surprises, for me at least. That moment arrived on a Saturday morning. She entered the kitchen, as poised as ever, blissfully unaware of how close she stood to a complete unraveling. "Any plans today?" I asked while handing her a cup of coffee. "Might catch up with some friends," she replied vaguely. Then smirking, she added, "You'll manage without me, right? You're lucky I've stayed this long." That was the last blow. I slid an envelope across the counter. She looked at it, puzzled. Inside was everything. Bank accounts emptied, credit cards deactivated, the car keys irrelevant now that it wasn't hers, and a detailed separation agreement ready for her signature. "What is this?" she asked, her voice hardening. "It's what you hinted at," I answered coolly. "Your freedom. The chance to find my replacement." Her fingers trembled as she flipped through the pages. She was smart. She understood the language, the consequences. The ground beneath her had vanished. "You're serious," she whispered. "You said I didn't matter," I replied, staring straight at her. "Here's your opportunity to prove it." For once, she had no words. Silence pressed down on us, thicker than any fight we'd ever had. She tried to recover. "I didn't mean it like that." "But you said it. Over and over. You meant it. You're ending our marriage over one sentence?" "Not one," I said evenly. "Over years of disregard. No shouting. Just truth." Within days, she was gone. No house, no income to uphold the lifestyle she'd grown comfortable in. The friends who once crowded around her vanished with the perks. Reality caught up fast. At first, her messages were cold. "You'll regret this." Then they turned pleading. "Can we talk?" Eventually, long paragraphs arrived, apologies, rationalizations, attempts to spin her cruelty into misunderstanding. Even accusations that I hadn't done enough. I said nothing. Each text confirmed that leaving had been the right choice. Months passed. Then one afternoon, I spotted her in a cafe, sitting alone near the window. She saw me and waved, hesitant. Gone was the arrogance. In its place sat regret, or maybe the bitter realization of everything she'd lost. "I've been wanting to talk," she said softly. "I made a mistake. I didn't think you'd ever actually leave. I thought you needed me more than I needed you." "That was your mistake," I told her. "You thought love was unconditional. That I'd stay, no matter how I was treated." She fidgeted with her cup. "Is there any chance we can start over?" That's when it hit me. There's power in choosing to walk away. "No," I said gently. "Some things break too completely to fix. You made sure of that." She nodded slowly, trying to hold herself together. As I stood, I paused. You were right, by the way, I added. Everyone's replaceable. I just didn't realize that included you. And I left. No anger. No resentment. Just peace. She had once decided I was disposable. Now she knew how it felt to be replaced.